I want to quickly talk to you about USPS self-service kiosk. And the big question is, if you are a consumer, you're trying to save money, you're trying to really sort of ditch the queue and really do things yourself, right? But what is the catch-22 here? What are the risks that you need to be aware of if you are using the USPS self-service kiosk this year? So that's what I want to talk to you about in today's conversation. So let me first explain to you what is a self-service kiosk. Whether you go to USPS or UPS or FedEx or DHL or any other shipping supplier, when you have a self-service kiosk, what should you really be thinking about? First of all, self-service kiosks are actually machines that USPS provides at certain locations that allow customers to mail their packages without needing to talk to a USPS worker. So you who are listening to me right now, if you want to use a USPS self-service kiosk, you don't really need to really go through the queue. Like I said, you can do things yourself. Okay. So if you are dropping off, let's say, packages outside of normal working hours, or you want to skip the queue, this is really ideal. Okay. Now, the self-service kiosks tend to be a great solution for businesses or individuals who know exactly what they need and want to get their items shipped quickly. So even if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner and you have a clear idea of the kind of shipping, let's say the kind of shipping product you want, then a self-service kiosk can really help you big time. Okay. Now, what should you use a service kiosk for? It really depends. It depends on your needs. Depends on the kind of business that you are running too. So anyone can use a service kiosk if they do not want to wait in line and their packages fits the criteria, like very simple criteria. So there are actually a great way to speed your mailing experience up, especially around the holidays. Let's say October, November, December, when people are just like things are just crazy busy, right? So that's what it is. Now the USPS service kiosks come with many features, some of which were upgraded in 2018 to improve their functionality. I mean, USPS is constantly sort of improving the features anyway. Okay, so but nowadays, a lot of consumers are using self-service kiosks big time because they see the benefits. Okay, so a self-service kiosk may actually at some stage in the future mean that fewer staff are required in order to handle the number of customers that USPS has. Okay, so that's actually the risk. However, it is unlikely that they will ever completely outstrip the demand for workers. So think about it that way. Now, if you're thinking about using a self-service kiosk this year, it's important to really understand that there are some packages that are suitable for those kiosks, and some that are not. Right, so you got to really see like what your needs are and what kind of packages you're shipping to. So you can actually mail many kinds of packages with self-service kiosks, but you should be aware of certain restrictions because USPS and regulators, I mean authorities, have put in place some regulations and some restrictions to make sure that people are not just shipping like some kind of crazy stuff through the self-service kiosk. Okay, so I want to share with you a few things, a few packages that you should not, or at least you should never, okay, mail through the self-service kiosk. So packages that are fragile, like if you have glass or anything that's fragile, you want to go to a USPS worker, right? Don't do this through the USPS kiosk. And packages that need special transport. So some packages need special transport. So it really, this is on a case by case basis, but I mean, you know exactly what I mean. Packages that have to be handled in particular ways, and packages that are over a certain size. This varies between machines. Some machines will not accept packages over 12 inches, while others will not accept packages over 15 inches. So there's always some kind of range between 12 and 15. Okay, so usually a machine will tell you what you can and cannot be you cannot mail through the machine, and so there is actually a sign on the side that tells you what's really possible and what's not possible. Now, if you are having an issue, however, you just need to ask one of the USPS employees, and they should be able to assist you with understanding what the rules are, because see, the rules are different from location to location. So you just want to make sure that you are really talking to the right person at the right place too. Okay, so it is worth learning the rules if you mail items often, because you will find that you can save actually a lot of time, over waiting in the queue, right? It's all about knowing the rules. It's all about knowing what's allowed and what's not allowed, and then actually sticking to those rules, and actually save time like over a long time. So let me talk to you now about how to use a self-service kiosk. So now that you understand exactly how things work, and how why you should use a self-service kiosk in the first place, let's go through the process, the logistics. So one thing for sure, user friendliness has been really thought as a priority while designing a self-service kiosk, because it is very user friendly, very easy to use. Okay, again, if you're having any problems, ask for help from any employee, okay, at USPS. So one thing you want to do is that you want to find your nearest self-service kiosk, okay, and you can actually look at them using the USPS website. So just put your zip code, and the USPS will let you know, like what's available in your area. So step number one, find your nearest self-service kiosk. Number two, you want to actually go to the kiosk and select the option that you actually need. You need from the menu, right? Depending on your needs too. So that's really important to really think about. And so again, one thing I want to say, I want to tell you here is that there are many mailing choices. So it's always a good idea to establish actually which one you need before you start, because otherwise you'll hold others up in the queue. The whole idea about having a self-service kiosk is that we're trying to really save time here, right? So if God forbid you were wasting time actually at a self-service kiosk, that's really you are defeating the purpose of the kiosk in the first place. Okay, so that's the second step. So second step, go to the kiosk and select the option that you need from the menu. And step number three, you want to purchase your labels and print them. Okay, very straightforward. And you can use a debit card, you can use a credit card, you can use also digital wallets. You can also use P2P platforms such as PayPal or Venmo or others. So that's something to think about. And so you attach your labels to the package and then add them to the appropriate box or slot alongside. So pretty straightforward. So I want to talk to you about what else you can do at a self-service kiosk, okay? Because it's important to understand that you're not going to find the kiosk very complicated, especially when it comes to getting things done a certain way. And so I wanted to really go a little further. So there are many things that you can do at the USPS self-service kiosk besides mailing items. And that's one thing I want to insist on, because the kiosk has been thought as a platform that allows consumers to actually interact pretty quickly with the mailing system, with the U.S. mailing system. Okay. Now, so for example, when you go to a kiosk, you basically can print priority mail express forms. That's kind of cool, because a lot of things that you were able to do actually from your computer, you can actually do it at the kiosk. Think of the kiosk as a portal. Okay, this is actually a point of service. That's how I think about it, a point of service. So you can print priority mail express forms. You can compare shipping options items. You can compare shipping options in terms of their price and the delivery times that they offer. You can buy insurance. That's kind of cool. You can buy insurance. You can also get signature confirmation, return receipts, and delivery confirmations too. You can look up a zip code. Okay, so that's kind of cool if you need help. And let's say you're kind of confused about the specific zip codes that you're shipping to, or you're not really sure. You think there is a digit missing, or you're not really sure about a specific number. You can really get all that info at a USPS self-service kiosk. You can also renew a PO box. So if you currently have a PO box, and see, the thing is, you cannot get a new PO box To get a new PO box, you got to go to a USPS office. You got to speak to a USPS employee. But once you're in, if you want to renew the PO box, then no problem, because they already have your data, right? They already have your paperwork. They have validated everything. They have verified everything, and you are clean, right? So that's kind of cool. So you can renew a PO box. You can purchase stamps and pay for postal services with a credit card, debit card, or EBT card, among others. Okay, and also you can print a receipt with a USPS tracking number, and you can weigh a package for later mailing. So it is actually best to use the machines with a view to keep the service efficient. So if you are aware that other people are in a hurry, you may wish to look up USPS services and other information online, right? Instead of using a machine, because a machine is really meant to speed up the whole process. So let's talk about the payment options that you can really have at a USPS self-service kiosk. So unfortunately, you can only pay for items at a self-service kiosk using a credit card, debit card, or an EBT card, among others. You can also use digital wallets, okay? And so now there are no other payment options in terms of, let's say, if you're thinking about crypto, for instance, you can't use crypto at a USPS self-service kiosk, okay? Okay. So, and the machines, by the way, are not designed to take cash. They do not take cash at all. So now in the future, this may change, but cash is not currently an acceptable means of payment for the machines. So if you need to pay with cash, you will still have to go to the desk to mail your packages. Now, in terms of, like I told you a little earlier, that they improved the self-service kiosk recently, like 2018, 2019, right? So it's important to understand that USPS has worked greatly at making sure that consumers are having a good time. I mean, a good time, are finding it easy to actually weigh the packages. Okay, so you're able to actually weigh the packages. There is accuracy. Okay, and so the current scales are extremely sensitive and will take exact measurement. Okay, ensuring that you don't overpay. That's kind of cool. And all you have to do is put the piece of mail on the scales, and the weight will be displayed in front of you. Okay, you can check that this aligns with your expectations, and then choose your shipping options, or options. And also another improvement is that USPS has added a scanner, so you are able to scan products that you wish to buy, and mail that you wish to drop off. So that's really cool. Also in terms of improvement. And also, another improvement is that USPS has simplified the output bin, so that by now there is just one slot that outputs labels, okay? Whereas before, you may have to look between multiple slots in order to find the label that you ordered, okay? And now you only have to look into one slot. So this should really flash and light up when a label is dispensed, helping you to draw actually the eye to it. So that's really, really fantastic. So when you think about USPS self-service kiosk and all the good things that I just told you about, what can you remember here in terms of advantages? So the biggest advantage, if you really think about it, is the speed, right? You don't have to really wait for hours in line anymore. So you can complete a transaction real fast, okay? But the thing is, you have to know what you're doing, right? Because anytime you think about anything self-service, whether you go to the supermarket or you go to USPS, if you know what you're doing, you've done it before, or at least you have a clear idea about what you expect, things can go fast, okay? So that's kind of cool. And you can simply key in the info, pay for your shipping, add the label to the package, and drop the package off. So that's kind of cool. And you can do all these things in less than 1 minute or 2 minutes max, okay? And also, you have to understand when it comes to a self-service kiosk, and this is a big advantage to really pay attention to. There's no let's say holiday working hours. No, they open 24/7. So you can really take care of business after hours, after working hours, okay, when you're home. Whereas if you have to go to an employee, they're probably showing up at 9 o'clock and leaving at 6, right? So or five. So that's kind of cool that you need to really understand. And also, but by the way, the kiosks are not outside though. They are inside. They are inside USPS lobbies. Okay, so as long as you can access the lobby, you probably find that the self service machine is operational, and you can mail your items. And also, USPS has improved big time the user interface, right? So UI, in terms of UI and UX, you will really appreciate like what all the good work they have done. So that's really good because the USPS is trying to really make life easier life easier for customers all over the country, especially those customers that are shipping mail regularly, right? So if you ship mail regularly and you know what you're doing, you will appreciate having a service kiosk because that's actually a great way for you to save a lot of time. So, what are the major disadvantages here? So, I just told you the advantages. What are the drawbacks? So, basically, you need to understand with a kiosk, a USPS self service kiosk, there is no cash accepted, right? So, this can be frustrating, especially if you don't want to use a credit card or debit card for a small purchase. You also need to understand that you can only send standard mail using a self-service kiosk. Okay, anything that requires a special handling will still need to be sent via the main counter. So this is frustrating, especially if most of your mail can be sent via a self-service kiosk, but one or two pieces require you to stand in line. And also, you need to understand that basically you have to understand the time that it takes, because sometimes if you want to clarify the time that your shipment will take to deliver, the machine can tell you that. The machine cannot really tell you that. You have to talk to someone. And one thing you need to understand is that when you use a service kiosk, USPS is really fast, okay? If you mail an item after hours, you might be wondering whether it will go out that day. It may seem like a clever way of getting around your post office's opening hours and getting mail dispatched more quickly, right? So anything that is mailed after hours will stay in the collection box until the next pickup time, which is usually the following day. So mailing after hours is a bit like leaving the package for the USPS workers, right, to collect when they get to work the next day. It will not actually get to its destination any faster, sadly. Okay, so just be aware of that. And the USPS is not going to change their strategy. And also, one thing I want to say is that you have to understand the um, the self service kiosk. Okay, is it's a little more expensive because it is faster, it is convenient, and is also available after hours, right? So you're paying for a premium service, and consumers are pretty comfortable with that. I mean, there's no problem in terms of paying for a USPS self service kiosk, especially knowing that the kiosk is open or may be open during the holidays. So or even during let's say like non-working hours. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to use the USPS self-service kiosk. I gave you everything you need to know about the self-service kiosk. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.